I lost a part of myself one night in Yellow Brooke, and for 20 years I have been trying to bury the sound of it. The pleading voice, the slam of the trapdoor, the way the world narrowed until only my friends and that green door existed. Now the memories are becoming clearer.
I used to call myself a kid who made bad choices, parties, drugs, classes I pretended to attend, until one night taught me how small those choices were against whatever lives under the trees. It was a night like any other, yet everything was about to change in the blink of an eye. The green door was about to be opened.
We were three, Lewis, Gage, and me, drifting around in Lewis's minivan. The kind of aimless night I thought would never have consequences. We were ready for anything, or so we thought. We could not be more wrong.
Gage passed me a joint and cracked a beer. The woods at Yellow Brooke looked like a painting someone had finger-painted in neon. The pine and wet earth smelled like something alive and ancient. I could not shake a feeling of dread. The acid loosened my senses until I could taste the dusk on my tongue. Everything felt heightened, and I could feel the weight of the forest watching me. It was as if the trees were judging our every move.
Gage bolted from the van to piss and came back pale and frantic.
"There's a door," he said. "I heard someone crying." She sounded terrified.
He was more terrified than I had ever seen him. Lewis laughed it off. Trap. Some asshole's prank. But I could see the doubt in his eyes, the uncertainty that mirrored my own. He wanted to leave. But Gage's hands shook as he pointed down a narrow path. We followed, tripping over roots and laughing at lilies that seemed to bow to us. We were too high to think straight. The path stopped at a slab of earth, overgrown with moss, and a small green door leaned against a tree like a secret someone had forgotten. It was a door to another world. I could feel it. Had an old lock, crusted with rust. A voice drifted from beneath the wood, young, thin, pleading. "Please, help me." It was the voice of someone in deep despair. We argued, the way frightened people do, logic against instinct. Lewis wanted the police. Gage wanted to act. I wanted neither. And because we were high and reckless, we did what never to do. We pried the lock free and opened a hole into a place that was not meant to be opened. It was a mistake that changed everything. The shaft was colder than the night. Gage dropped his flashlight on a lanyard. It cast a weak cone of light, and there she was. A woman, naked, filthy, bruised, eyes rimmed with bruises and grief. She was trapped. I remember thinking stupidly that she looked smaller than a person should be, like someone pressed too hard into clay. She looked broken beyond repair. Gage climbed down to help. My chest tightened, some animal noise rose in my throat, and I felt frozen to the rim. I knew something was terribly wrong. He knelt. She reached for him. Her fingers closed around his arm, and in a movement that broke the geometry of human bone and muscle, she tore. The worst was about to happen. He screamed. He dropped to his knees, and there, slick and raw in the flashlight beam, was where his arm had been. The horror was unleashed. What followed is something I relive in slices. The slurping,
The way the woman threw back her head, as if she were tasting sunlight and meat at once. The sounds will never leave me. Her mouth widened, revealing not a mouth at all, but a tearing apparatus, and black hair spread across angles that were not human. She was becoming something else. I saw 8 spindly legs unfold like a nightmare puppet from her back, and 8 eyes blink into the world, red and cold. A monster was being born. The creature grew and rearranged, as if some other geometry was assembling itself under the skin. It shot a thread of silk that wrapped Gage and dragged him toward the dark. His fate was sealed. The green door slammed as though pushed by an invisible hand. We were trapped with it. Lewis ran. I banged on the door until my fists broke open and bled, and nothing changed. I was alone. Listened until the sounds stopped. The ripping, the cracking, the last strangled cry. Then nothing but the wet echo of hunger. Silence was just as terrifying as the sounds. We fled to the station because we had to leave the woods for the concrete logic of fluorescent lights and forms. It felt like the worst thing to do. In sobbing bursts, we told officers what we had seen. Gage had slipped in the trench and badly twisted an ankle, we said. We said the woman was injured. We said an arm had been torn. My voice would not be steady, and the rest of the story came out in pieces. We were lying for our lives. The police found the door. They found nothing else, no monster, no body, no hair or blood enough to explain a vanishing limb. It was as if it never happened. People prefer answers. When there are none, they invent villains. We were the monsters to them. Lewis and I became a rumor. Satanists, murderers, careless kids who had wanted to see what would happen. We were outcasts.